Today we'll be using Google Forms as data entry or data collection. We're going to learn about making the form. We're going to look at some options there. We're going to look at types of questions that will be useful and some that might not be that useful, and then how to access that data. First thing you're going to need to do is go to Google Forms. When you click your fun little Rubik's Cube here, you don't have Google Forms. Usually you have to click More, and there you can find it. We're going to click Create a New Blank Form, and here we are. We have some things like a title we can give it. We can name it Example, and then we can make some questions. We can also change some settings up here. So we can customize a theme so we can make it, maybe slightly more fun. We can preview it, see what it's going to look like when we send it out to people. And we can change settings. If you want to restrict it to only people in our school district with school emails, turn that on. If you want it to be able to be used by anyone you send it to, turn that off. The other thing is limit to one response. This will require your people taking this survey to log into Google, and it will track them, and it will have their name in the final data. If you are sending this out to a bunch of people, that's a great choice because then you won't get a bunch of responses from the same people. However, if you're using this as a data entry tool, then you want to keep that off. And you can look at some of the other things. This is kind of neat. This is how I make my quizzes. All right, let's talk about useful quick questions. Multiple choice questions are pretty useful. You can put in a question and then you can add some options. Add option, add option, add option. We can also add images for those options. So if you are making something, let's say you are interviewing a bunch of people who are very young and may not have good reading skills, you could use pictures as your examples. Might be useful in trying to figure out, say, favorite food. You have a picture of spaghetti, a picture of tacos, a picture of other foods. Other choices. Now to add another question, we are going to click a little plus, and we can change what it is. Checkboxes are also pretty good. Checkboxes are similar to these, except they let you choose multiple. So in this case, they could choose 1, 2, and 4. This might be useful when your question has multiple answers that you would like to pre-generate. Another useful one is our linear scale. You see these all the time. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you love Krispy Kreme? 1 being, I don't love it at all, it's awful, and 5 being, I wish I could eat it every day. And you can label them down here. So it could be perhaps a yuck to a yum. And again, you write your question there. You can add pictures. Less useful survey questions are the short answer, at least for our data analysis purpose. Short answer means people can type whatever they want. That's going to be tough to use our Google tools to make any automatic graph out of. So feel free to use them, but understand that some of our automated tools will be a little less useful. Let's see what it looks like. I can do a preview. All right, see, you can only check one of those, but you can check as many of these as you want. And on a yuck to yum, that's how I feel. And then short answer, and then you can smash that submit button. So because I turned off multiple, limit me on how many I can submit, I can just do this again. So if you go around and you ask a bunch of people and you just kind of gather down their data, and you want to turn that into a Google Sheet quickly, this might be a good way to do it. All right, now how do we get to our data? Well, if you go over and you click responses, there we'll have a little spreadsheet. Also, we'll have some interesting graphs. where you'll see roughly where everyone has voted. As I'm the only one who has selected anything, well, that's all we got. But if we click create spreadsheet, you can create its name, create, it's going to automatically add all of that data. All right, I'm going to do a little fast forward right here, and we are going to populate this form and look at what it might look like fully. So I have just entered a whole bunch of bits of data. Let's go check out the form. And as we can see, it's been automatically updating here. Now I decide to ask the question we've all been dying to know: is there a relationship between enjoying running and how tall you are? I asked more than just 2 questions because I wanted to try and get a couple different ways to measure how much somebody enjoys running. More options would be even better. So I've got how tall are you? There's not really many ways to ask that. To simplify my data, I gave, I believe, 4 options. How often do you run or walk? Just to get some more data, are they doing it a lot? If it's something they hate and they do it a lot, or if it's something they like and do it a lot, that's interesting for me to know. And do you enjoy running? I'm coming straight out and asking, hey, do you like running? And then in one word, describe running. I think that, while I can't directly graph that, that might be a interesting thing, especially if I have a couple words that come to the top. I only have 10 points of data, not really enough to make any big conclusions. But let's see. Again, this is garbage data. I made this data, but let's see if there's a relationship between these two. All right, it does not like that graph because I used the words. That's something where I'm going to have to go in and look kind of carefully. That might be one where a sort sheet, and I can see that 2 people responded that it was fun. So more people said it was fun than any other word by itself. All right, let's try the graph with one that ended up with some numbers. All right, so it's kind of all over the place, which is what you would expect from made-up garbage data, or data that doesn't have any sort of correlation, does not go together. It's just luck if you're tall and you like running, or there's no real big link there. I hope you found this tool useful. Use this all the time for gathering responses and collecting my data.